Sims 4 needs more vampires. You can trust me on this, I'm a credible source. After all, my avatar is a fancy little elf boy, and that makes me trustworthy. As for the reason, I noticed when I was trying to find some good content to watch while playing The Sims that The Sims Vampires is an expansion that, although very beloved and I have seen a lot of praise for, I cannot find videos for it that aren't from 9 years ago, and I don't like that fact very much. At all, even. And here I was sitting here and I had this great idea for a vampire playthrough that I wanted to do and I couldn't find anything to watch. I realized I could solve two problems at once. My idea was perfect for this even. After all, it had a dangerous vampire hunter that ends up falling for the good-looking, morally gray, or perhaps even evil vampire lord. A very typical love story, very drama with romance and all that jazz. Exactly what you want out of a good SimTube Let's Play video. So why not make it one? It's such a good game pack, and it deserves more than content from a decade ago, or to be just side content in werewolves videos. So buckle in and I'll build some Sims, as well as tell you all about them. One thing I'll tell you ahead of time is that I didn't have a name for either of these two while I was actively making them, so you'll see me pause for a hot minute on the names while I go look them up and try to figure out what I want to do. Just ignore that, or point it out, I don't care. For our first Sim, we're not going to spend as long on the video with her since I just didn't take as long creating her. She fell together immediately. Meet our vampire hunter, Carmilla Brooks, named in honor of Carmilla Karnstein, the famous vampire. And of course, just a little bit of influence from Blade's real name. Carmilla is a serious and ambitious woman with a lot of sides to her. She enjoys a wide variety of hobbies such as programming, yoga, the occasional spot of baking, oh, and of course slaying vampires. I plan on playing with secret occults installed, and Carmilla isn't just a believer in the occult, she's seen them firsthand. After a terrifying run-in with Vlad where he drained her of so much blood that she was left feeling awful for days, she made a vow to never let this kind of thing happen to her ever again. She's a young adult in this footage, but I'll be aging her up to an adult before we start playing. To be clear, this is just a CAS video to test the waters and get myself used to editing before we jump into anything more serious like the full-on Let's Play. Carmilla joined a society of secret vampire hunters, and they are right on the tail of these vampires, tracking them through nightclubs and alleyways, all of the fun places. They think they're close to discovering the home of these vampires, and Carmilla has volunteered to be the first to infiltrate should the need arise. Hence, some of her outfits lean more into the vampire aesthetic than others. That's her pretending to be one. And she's a pretty good actor. She has a day job in San Myshuno as a low-level tech monkey, as a cover, of course, and every day that passes she yearns more and more for a chance to get out of this awful city apartment that she's living in and start finding and hunting vampires. To reflect all of this, her three main looks were created with these intentions in mind. A casual, somewhat sporty look for sporting around the city, a vampire-styled look for her alternative identity, she needs to pretend to be one of them and tries to infiltrate, as well as a more combat-focused outfit, which follows rule of cool more than anything else. Now for the actual footage you're seeing, I'll admit that it's been over 3 months since I actually saw my custom content collection, so I was clicking on a lot of things because they amused me, or I don't remember them and I find them fascinating. Or both, or I think that they're awful. There's a lot of all of that. A full side note for this section, as you'll see me struggle with it in the background, custom content makeup on darker skinned Sims doesn't always look right, and it makes me very angry. It's super annoying when it ends up looking cakey or weird, or even like someone else's skin tone is on top of them. I wish that didn't happen. Her formal outfit was a hard one because I knew I loved how she looked in this practical and beautiful blue jumpsuit, but I was also drawn to the idea that she would wear a more casual, businessy type of look. However, the outfit I put together, although absolutely adorable, was far too casual, and I couldn't figure out any other suits to put her in that didn't look frumpy or weird. I need more custom content. So, the blue jumpsuit won, as we expected. I need to slow down now and mention that every time I make a feminine frame sim, Busted Pixels Gem and the Holograms custom content pack ends up being the most useful thing in the world. I downloaded it to get my favorite characters' outfits, but the pieces themselves come in so many colors and are so versatile and pigmented nonetheless. I can't recommend it enough. It's a lifesaver every single time I build a sim. Her party look came to be because I couldn't think of a situation where Carmilla would be at a party under normal circumstances. Sure, in-game maybe, but in the story I'm trying to tell, Carmilla being at a vampire gala seemed the most reasonable explanation for me. That's the only party I can ever think of her attending, willingly at least. Both of our main sims were built while I was talking with a friend, so I was in a pretty good mood while designing them. I do think that over time, I'll add more outfits to some of their other categories, since she'll need a full set of vampire disguises for every occasion, and male Sims need more fashion in general. I knew above anything else I wanted Carmilla to be a very practical sort of character. I wanted her to look nice, but not overly so. She's not a fanciful celebrity type of Sim. She's a practical, down-to-earth vampire hunter. She needed outfits that were easy to move in, but admittedly a lot of my favorites tended to make her look younger than I wanted her to seem. She is an adult woman. 30s at least. Carmilla is a magical scholar simply because I couldn't think of a better aspiration. Besides, if she does one day become a spellcaster, that may make her the ultimate enemy of vampires everywhere. Other than werewolves, but I don't own that pack, so spellcasters. She's proper because she respects the rules of the places she's in. She's always one to mind the rules and do things the correct way. Cooking, romance, vampire slaying. You must do it the right way. You gotta follow the rules. All of it lends to Carmilla's very strict personality. Adventurous feels like a given with what she does, but I can elaborate more on hot-headed. I'm going to make every Sim in this world follow the Sims medieval style of 2 traits and a flaw, and Carmilla's flaw is that she is a very angry individual. She feels hurt, scared, and even alone due to her run-ins with vampires before she knew how to protect herself. She takes that anger out everywhere she can simply because recalling the memory is enough to make her blood boil. She's basically gotten her revenge already. She's slayed more vampires than Vlad could make reasonably. And yet, it's not enough. She's still angry. She's not gonna stop until she's slain just about every vampire. Or go to therapy. I don't think she's going to therapy, though. I definitely want to play around with this double life that she leads. Carmilla Brooks poses as this agreeable tech worker. She's the type to befriend her neighbors and coworkers, but I don't think Carmilla's truly friends with any of them. It's certainly more one-sided. I imagine that if they ever call her on the weekend, she's the type to ignore them or ghost them or simply decline every invitation they give. She is never going to go to any of the get-together hangouts, no matter how many times they ask. Just as well, vampire hunting doesn't pay at all, nor do most people even believe in vampires. So her biggest pastime, the answer to what she did with her weekend, as well as her most intense hobby, the thing she spends all of her time on, she can't tell anyone in her life about, outside of the secret society. All of her so-called friends would call her insane or tell her that she's lying, or just outright wouldn't believe her with no malice behind it. Vampires aren't real, Carmilla. What are you talking about? It's a very isolating thing that she's dedicated herself to. When Vlad attacked her that first time, her neighbors around Willow Creek didn't even believe her, claiming that she was lying despite having the bite marks to prove it. All of these facts make up our Carmilla Brooks. She's going to be so fun in this story. I'm very excited to play with her. By now, we should be finishing up with Carmilla, giving us the chance to meet our other main character, whom I'll be playing, I think, every other time, or maybe half of the time. Carmilla's our main character, but we'll be playing him here and there. Adrian Winchester, who is admittedly a whole lot less thought out, especially name-wise. He just looked to me like he was an Adrian. I used a sim I had made in the past as a base for him and tweaked around some features, but for every part where Carmilla just fell into place and was perfect, Adrian was giving me a handful of just problems. Problems all around. For one, I could not get his face to look normal for the life of me. I tweak it again and again and again, and I won't be too harsh on myself because male sims look weird, and it's hard to fix them, at least on my end. Maybe someone else has more normal looking male sims. Maybe that's how they get them to look so hot in all those photos on Tumblr. Anyways, it can be done, and one day I will learn how. I vow it. For now, though, while building him, I encountered a glitch that may have had something to do with my more columns mod. For some reason, I could not edit his skin tone. Admittedly, I quite liked the one he had from the get-go. It worked well for the mysterious gentleman effect he had about him, but I wanted his dark form to be sickly and pale. Since the Sims wouldn't cooperate with me, I ended up settling for the dark form being prioritized over the human form, which is a shame, but I think the vampire side is more important. Maybe once I'm in-game, I'll have the ability to do something like CAS.full edit mode to make him look more normal. In human form, at least, but for now, we're working with what we have. I really loved how this hair from Johnny Sims looked on him. In general, it may be my favorite hair for male Sims ever, since it has this look to it that is just so perfect. The right amount of disheveled and just... it looks so good. It looks its best in black, in my opinion, but I didn't want to double up on hair colors because I wanted Carmilla and Adrian to look different, so he was ousted into another color. The dark brown I thought was too close to black, and the light brown just didn't look right on his facial features. I settled on the red/ginger because I thought it looked nice, but then tried to compare his face with the original sim I based him on, and I still didn't like the way he looked, but this does look bad on me because they still look very similar, but what works, works. For his outfits, I struggle yet again because everything is so low rise. You can tell this game was originally released in 2014 sometimes. Oh boy, you can tell. I don't understand what the obsession is. It's either the worst high rise or low rise you've ever seen, or they have these terrible cropped cuffs, and you can see the man's ankles. It's bad. At some point in the footage, you'll see it randomly stutter and then restart, and that would be because I went on a very small custom content bench to try and find some more things for Adrian. I guess I should finally start talking about his personality, huh? Adrian is a dark and charming man. He's an interior designer for a profession, and he's a good one at that. Although famously, the inside of his house has never been shown off in his portfolio or the news or anywhere. No one even knows where he lives, just that he does an incredible job. He likes to attend a lot of nighttime parties and is known for being a rich, easygoing guy that's perfect to grab a drink with. He's popular with both the men and the ladies and often plays the part of a party boy, like a Bruce Wayne type, or at least what Bruce Wayne is supposed to be. Of course, we all see the icon in the corner. Adrian is a vampire, and a damn old one too. That's right, he's been a vampire for 16 years, putting him at the very old age of 40. Yeah, he's 40. This way it's not weird. Adrian was turned to a vampire by his longtime best friend whom he met in college. The two are eternally bound buddies with a bond that cannot age or see the sun. Adrian enjoys long walks around midnight, cooking and baking, even though he can no longer enjoy the fruits of his efforts. He still enjoys the activity nonetheless. It's one of the reasons he enjoys going to so many parties. It's an excuse to go and share whatever he's made of late, because otherwise it's just going to die and rot in his fridge. He really should stop making 15 servings at once. That might solve half of his problems. Adrian grapples with these things, though. As a creature of the night, it did allow him to leave his late 20s behind on good terms. He has forever in front of him, and supernatural power is nice. But the feeling of sun on his skin and food upon his tongue, he misses these things. His best friend, however, has convinced him that all he needs to do is become a stronger vampire. Drink more blood, gain sunlight resistance through sheer strength. After all, what can't more power solve? Vampires are the most powerful occult, you know. Don't fact check me on that one. For a fun fact in between the lore drops, Adrian's face is based on that of Volt from Date Everything. He had that look about him that I was going for, so I tried my best to copy it onto Adrian. At least, as best you can copy something 2D onto a sim. Back to the lore, though. In addition to all those parties he attends in the human world, he hosts them in the vampire world. Claude, his aforementioned best friend, has helped him secure plenty of vampires willing to attend these luxurious parties. Adrian is all the happier to enjoy the feasts and the revelry, but he leaves the dirty work of gathering the human victims to Claude. Out of mind, out of sight type of thing, you know? Speaking of, he is a much stronger vampire than Adrian, and far better at hiding his vampiric nature. You don't see Claude's eye bags, and you would never once see his veins. He's been playing the human world for a long time. He drops identities every few decades and assumes new ones just as he pleases. He's been everything from a playboy to an actor to a writer. He tried being a model, but it doesn't work when you don't show up in mirrors or photos. People tend to figure that one out. Oh, so many Sims died that day. He prefers when he's not in the spotlight or the subject of photos, so careers like writer and tech guru or startup enthusiast end up being his preferred ones. Maybe I'll do another video where I design Claude and show off just how evil he is. I mean, how wonderful, because he is Adrian's best friend. But for now, that's all the lore you're going to get, because if I do any more and say any more, it's going to be spoilers. I feel like I went through every pair of pants in the base game trying to find ones that looked decent on Adrian. I have the biggest bone to pick with this game. Why are all the pants so ill-fitting? Just so many of them seem vacuum sealed onto the men's legs, and it gives them this strange look and leaves every outfit feeling unbalanced. Moral of the story, I hate The Sims 4's jeans. I do often have to force myself when designing Sims because if I got my way, every single Sim would be some type of goth or emo, and if I ever show you my gallery, you'll know what I mean. You can tell based on how allergic I am to color in this video alone. I think I put in maybe 2 accent colors ever, but everything else is black. Adrian's second looks are a lot less interesting than Carmilla's in my opinion. I think he only got 2 alternate outfits. I was struggling to give him one look that fit the look I was going for. A 2 or 3 per slot seemed outrageous. I need to find more men's CC. His custom looks are going to be more vampire themed as well, for when he isn't masquerading as an interior designer. There's not as much to say about them because he is a vampire and it's kind of just him dressing how he wants. I'd dress like that too if I could. Now that you're this far and have listened to me rant about my OCs for nearly 15 minutes, hi. I'm Hobie-Do. You can call me Hobie, but you should know that considering it's been under the video this entire time. Or maybe it hasn't. Maybe I changed the name and I'm lying to you. Who knows? Here's some fun facts about me. My first memory of a video game is creating a sim in The Sims 3. I have 2,147 hours in The Sims 4 at this time of recording. Skyrim is my favorite game, and yes, I really liked the Dawnguard DLC. Don't know if you could tell. Way back when in 2017, when The Sims 4 Vampires released, it was gifted to me by someone near and dear to my heart as a birthday present. I share my account with this person, and they hate vampires, despise them in any form of media, and they're still willing to put up with them for me, even though every Sim seems to have a garlic-themed house. I have an unfair affection towards the pack because of that. So if I seem biased, it's because I am. I love vampires. I love them in The Sims 3, and I adore them in The Sims 4. This pack was one of the few I was truly excited for when it came out, and Snakes is such a banger that it's upsetting that I have to hear it in Simlish when playing. I want to hear the full thing every single time. Another thing I have planned is I truly do want Adrian and Carmilla to have their own color of sorts. Adrian's is going to be blue, and Carmilla's is going to be red, with both of them feeling the most in their element when they're wearing their own color. Although if they're ever wearing each other's, it might mean something too. Look forward to that. This is the part of the video where I freeze and stare very hard at Adrian, only discover to me that he looks like an Adrian. Upon discovering this fact, I then go and make him look like an Adrian. I make a quick joke to torture the friend I was streaming to, and then we settle on the last name Winchester. I started modding this game around 2020, I do believe, when my, at the time, tired off-the-shelf model computer couldn't run the game well anymore. Now we're finally where I can explain Adrian's personality more. This flirtatious playboy is actually not that. It's an act he puts up. It's not really him. Adrian wants a vampire family because it would make him stronger, and being stronger means he may have a chance to walk in the sunlight again. Once he's strong enough to walk in the sunlight, maybe he'll even get the chance to go and visit his old favorite pastry shop. In the daytime again, and not just when it's closed and sad. Not to eat anything, but just to see it and remember. Adrian is gloomy due to the isolating nature of his personal vampire life. Claude is the only one who can cheer him up when he gets into a funk. It's sad, but none of the other vampires really understand him. Claude's the only one who gets him. He's a snob due to his upbringing. Adrian never wanted for much, and it left him feeling entitled and better than many things. This is, in my opinion, his biggest flaw. He doesn't appreciate what's given to him, and he has even less appreciation for what he already has. Between this and the way that he's always ruminating on the past, he truly never knows how good he's got it until he has lost it. He'll never be able to tell in the moment, provided he stays the way that he is. And that looks likely. In addition to all of that, he is also a perfectionist. He just likes things a certain way and needs them done right. This is hugely beneficial to his day job, or afternoon job. I really wanted these Sims to feel like actual people, so I plan on sticking to their likes, dislikes, and personalities and traits much harder than I would if I was doing a challenge run or something more casual. I don't plan on allowing them to change their traits unless a major story beat has happened, but if Adrian decides that he's no longer feeling like a snob because a child smiled at him, I'm probably not going to accept that. Also, their wonderful whim settings will have them being exactly each other's type. They are doomed to like each other, although rather not they get together is another story. But now we're finally at the part where I design his dark form. This is a personal taste thing, but I hugely enjoy the vampire's dark forms looking like a twisted, evil, hungrier version of themselves, without it looking downright silly like the pre-built Sims ones do. I briefly pondered short hair Adrian, but that didn't pan out and made him look too much like another Adrian. Admittedly, as I look back, I do sort of wish that I'd kept him ginger, but the blonde does suit him better. Shame it means that we need to save Carmilla before she falls in love with a blonde man. Then I switched his regular hair to a second but neater Johnny Sims hair so that there was even more transformation when he became his dark self, while keeping it consistent within the character. Even now, looking back on the footage, knowing that I did all this work on his dark form only for it to not matter because I had to reset him is just so sad. But since I'm playing around with the outfits right now, that leaves us at the very end of this all. I hope you're excited to see the actual gameplay, because it's not up to you whether I record it or not. It's up to me, and I'm going to do it. But I would love it if you would stick around for the next one. And if there's only one thing that you take away from this video, I want it to be that The Sims 4 needs more vampires. That's it.